Welcome to week 4, part 2. So this is next steps and this is where we're really getting to choose what we're going to do to get to where we want to go. And today it's body. So we've done mind and soul, and this is body. And I have my Emanate formula, which is MN8, movement, or move, nourish, treat. Move, nourish, treat. So we're going to start with move or movement, and I have a CSI formula. You don't have to remember all these formulas and these things. They're little reminders for me, and if they're helpful to you, that's great, but they're little reminders to me. And my CSI formula is you need to think about moving for 3 different aspects. Cardio, which is movement for your heart. Strength, which is movement for your muscles, and they're not really showing up very much, for your muscles, and I, which is intellect, so that is movement for your brain, and that's sort of the fun part of exercise. So let's just go through them all. So the studies on telomeres have shown that if you want to lengthen the telomeres, aerobic exercise is what you want to do. So aerobic exercise, that's particularly useful is just aerobic exercise, say 30 to 40 minutes, 3 times a week is great, but probably even better is high intensity interval training or HIIT training. And that's where you do short bursts of full out and then have a slower period, short bursts of flat out. So that will increase the length of your telomeres. So how might you do that? Well, the HIIT, you can go to the gym and learn a movement, but even if you're doing walking, so you could walk for half an hour or 40 minutes 3 times a week, or you could do something where you walk really fast for 3 minutes, relax, slow walk for 3, really fast for 3 minutes, slow walk, and you do that maybe 4 times. So it's a slightly shorter exercise overall, but there's maybe a little bit more benefit. So what do I use? I'm just going to give you some hints. I have some apps on my phone to use when I want to do aerobic exercise, if I want to do HIIT, high intensity interval training, because I don't necessarily know those by myself. So I have the Fit On app, and I have, what other app do I use? I'm just having a quick, One and Done, which is felt training. So it's called One and Done. And actually One and Done, there's like 1 minute in that whole exercise of fast, hard stuff. So you do sort of 30 seconds of fast, 2 minutes of something a bit slower, 30 seconds. So you do 4 lots of 30 seconds. So basically that's a type of, it's called sprint interval training, but similar to high intensity interval training, so it's very effective. So I do that, and I have the Fit On app, and they have you can choose a workout. You can say I want 10 minutes, I want 20 minutes, I want an hour, and you can choose what sort of workout you want, if you want it gentle, if you want it easy, if you want it hard. So it's a really great app. So that's Fit On and One and Done, which I think is under Svelte training. So that's what I do for my high intensity interval training. And then for just normal cardio, I do cycling. I've got an e-bike, but an e-bike still means I'm cycling. So I've got my e-bike. Swimming, I like swimming, I have been swimming now that I'm up here in this. Let me show you again, because I just love it. It's beautiful. So you can see the water out there. So that's where I've been swimming. Sorry about this. Yes, so I've been swimming, and so that's my cardiac exercise, and that's really important for move. So, but you also need to have some strength, and I have to say I'm only just starting to really do that properly. And strength training is about your muscles, and it's really important because your muscles are your fat burning engine. So having good muscles is really important for being able to, doing this now, I've messed up So muscles are really important, having good muscle mass, because it's a fat burning engine, so it's really good, particularly for belly fat. But muscles are also really good for keeping strong bones, that resistance training for keeping strong bones. And as women, we can get osteoporosis as we get older, so we really want to maintain good bones. But strength training isn't just lifting weights, although lifting weights is strength training. I'm actually doing it with resistance bands. Should have bought them here, but I've got resistance bands. So I'm doing a program at the moment called 10X. It's on the Mindvalley. It's a Mindvalley Quest. It's called 10X, and it's about strength training, but they give you all sorts of options so that you can use machines at the gym, you can do it at home with weights, or you can do it with resistance bands. And there are some exercises that, even like some yoga and Pilates exercise where you use your body weight, but you're still doing strength training. So you just want to be mindful that you have some strength training in your program. And then finally, you've got to think of your brain, because our brain needs exercise as well. And it doesn't mean just exercise and learning things. Our brain benefits from exercise that we do. So dancing is a great exercise. And they've done studies where they've shown that if you do, let me just check, ballroom dancing twice a week, that you have better results than walking in terms of preventing dementia. And so, early dementia. So anything that is going to do that is really important. So dancing, social walking, so walking with a group. Okay, so it could be good for being a friend, friendships. It could be good for your cardio, because you're walking, and it's good because it's social, good for your brain. So you sort of see sometimes you can get three benefits from the one exercise or the one thing. Table tennis, I've even shown that table tennis is helpful for early dementia. So again, you want to be doing something for your brain. And what I use is I follow it's called Body FX, and it's an app, and it's from, I don't know what the website is. I think it's not, the website isn't called Body FX, but the app is called Body FX. And there are a number of different trainings on there, including strength training. So, you can get strength training, cardio, probably high intensity, and dancing. And I like the figure eight dancing. And the figure eight program, it's based on ballroom, and you do a number of different exercises. So it's sort of fun as well. So letting you know now, that's what exercise, when you're choosing some exercise and you do need to move, think of having something for your heart, for the cardio, something for your muscles, strength, and something for your brain, intellect, CSI. And, if you have your, so I, I have exercise, but you could have move, so I don't do the same exercise every day, if you know what I mean. So I do my strength training on Mondays and Thursdays at the moment in the program I'm doing. So then I might go cycling on another day. I might do dancing on another day. So you've got 7 days in the week, so you can tick off a day every day. It's much easier with your habits if you have something every day than twice a week. You can have some weekly habits, but it's easier if you have them every day. So even if you have exercise, and then on the side you say, on Mondays I do strength, on Tuesdays I do cardio, I do high intensity interval training off my Fit On app. On Wednesdays I do a dance exercise from my Body FX app. On Thursdays I'm doing my strength training from my 10X app. Friday I'm going to do cardio again, because remember the dance was also cardio. It is, so the dance one was also cardio, and then on Saturday I might just do a short yoga from my Fit On app, and on Sunday I might do something in high intensity interval training from my One and Done. So but you have an idea, but all I need to tick off is that I've done something that day, and I know that I've got a mixture of things. And as I said, the Body FX Dance one is also a cardiac workout. Okay, so that is move. Now we're going to go to nourish. So I told you that with I'm just going to go back one moment. Just a little bit about epigenetics and telomeres. I said to you that the cardio is going to increase the length of your telomeres. Strength training doesn't actually increase the length of your telomeres, but it does influence gene expression. So it's acting at an epigenetic level, and the same with dance. So just know that everything, you might sort of see things that say, oh, well, cardio, strength training doesn't increase your telomeres, so therefore it's not good for aging. Well, actually that's not correct, because there are more, telomeres aren't the only factor in aging. Epigenetics is, and gene expression is, and strength training affects that. So we'll lead on then to nourish, and all of these changes that are occurring in the body rely on the body having good basic building blocks of nutrition. You need to have a firm foundation, because otherwise, you can't get the right, if you want to go, well, I want to change that reaction to this reaction. Well, you need the building blocks, and the building blocks come in terms of how we nourish ourselves, our food, what we take in. So I quite like Dr. Mark Hyman. I don't know if you've seen him, but he does a lot of healing where he mainly looks at nutrition. And he says, and I agree with him, that actually unless you're living in an ideal world with ideal nutrients, so you're living in a world that hasn't been polluted, the food is full nourishment as it was, when our systems were basically made, which is way back in cave time. Unless there are a lot of factors that are ideal, you probably are not going to get the right nutrients without a supplement, particularly as you get older. So I'm just putting that out there, and I definitely supplement. I don't take any pills for any illnesses, but I take a number of supplements. And so I'm going to just give you my healthy, of course I've got another acronym, right? Healthy approach to how you nourish your body. And before I do, I just want to remind you that the blue zones have a lot of plant-based diet. So not all plant-based, but there is a lot of plant-based in the blue zones, and there's pretty much no processed food. So as a general rule, you want to have more God-made and less man-made food, if you know what I mean by that. Less and more, either that you can pick it or it roams around wild, or rather than coming from a factory, if you know what I mean. So more God-made, less man-made, less processed food, more plants as an overarching principle for your diet. But here is my healthy reminder of things that you might do. And the first one is H in healthy. H is Hara Hachi Bu. And Hara Hachi Bu is a Japanese principle, and they use this in Okinawa, which is one of the blue zones. And it's eat until you're 80% full. So they don't eat until they're full. They're not like, they used to have those Roman meals where they used to have about, I don't know, maybe double-digit courses, and they'd be lying around, and then they'd I'm not even going to go there. But basically, it's not that. It's eat until you're 80% full. So how might you do that? Well, I've got 3 easy ways you might do that. And one of the ones that I've just introduced is use a smaller dinner plate. And actually, the dinner plate that I'm using was the dinner plate that I grew up size, was the normal size. But somehow, the usual plate now is what used to be the large plate. And we expect everyone has this large plate, and then it gets filled up. If you have a smaller plate, you just can't put as much food on it. So that's one way. The other way is to take more time. So to eat slower. So chew more. So you sometimes say, they say to chew your food 30 times or whatever, but just chew your food a little bit more. Or I even saw an article about a guy who lost weight, and all he'd done is changed to using children's knife and fork, which basically just meant it took him longer to eat. So, you don't start feeling full until 20 minutes after you start eating. So it means that you're still able, I feel full, I haven't finished my plate, well, I'll stop. As opposed to people who wolf down everything and then they're, it's so full. So you take longer to eat. And then finally, have a belief that it's okay to leave something on your plate. Have you been programmed to think that you have to clean your plate? Or that if you don't clean your plate, when I was young, it was you eat everything on that plate because you're starving children somewhere else. So it was sort of programmed into me. My plate is clean. But actually, if you just then make it a habit to leave something on the plate, even if it's one pea, just leave something on the plate as a habit, then that will get you into maybe a hara hachibu. So that's the H. The E is eat over a smaller window of time. So you might have heard of intermittent fasting, where you sort of eat over an 8 to 12 hour window. 8 is great, 12 is okay, but it means that you're just not eating, you have a long period of time when you're not. So you have to fit it into your lifestyle. If you're an early bird, then you might start eating at 8 and finish at, you might have breakfast till 10 and then you finish at, I'm going to do 8 hours, 4 o'clock, and you don't eat after 4. But if it doesn't really matter, you can work out what it is, but an 8 hour window, or a 9 hours window is good as well, 10 hour windows, okay, 12's probably okay, but getting closer to 8 is better. But just, remember that we're doing a 2% change. So it might be that just eating in a 12-hour window is the place for you to start. It's actually, I'm only going to eat between 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. or 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. That might be your first window. So that's eat over a smaller window, HEA. A is antioxidant. So I've talked to you about free radicals, but free radicals are actually the basis of just about every single disease. And we make free radicals and just as part of our normal bodily processes, and we have natural antioxidants already. So we have a system in place, but that can often get overloaded, particularly when we have foods that cause a lot more free radicals, when there's pollution, if you're smoking, if you're stressed. There's so many things that are going to increase your free radicals that really having a good antioxidant network is really, really important for maintaining your health. And so I strongly suggest that you get a good antioxidant supplement, and the one that I use has been shown to alter gene expression, to reset the genes to healthy. So it's got an antioxidant mix that actually resets the genes to a healthier, more youthful profile. So antioxidants, L, so HEAL, less sugar. We have far too much sugar. So just less sugar. So either you can be, if you're a woman, probably 24 grams, which would be between 6 teaspoons and 19 teaspoons of sugar. So 24 to 36 grams of sugar a day is no more than that. Well, if you look at the actual processed foods and you look and see what the sugar content is, it's often way over that. And I did a program called Wild Fit a few years back, and had to look and see if there was any added sugar. And added sugar can look, it doesn't always say sugar. It might say maltodextrin, or it might say dextrose or glucose, or it hides itself. And there's a huge list of all the different things that are sugar. Corn syrup, for example, is called sugar, that hide. And I was sort of shocked that I actually thought, I'm just going to buy some chicken, and it was in a little pack, and it was sliced chicken. I thought, I'll just buy that, it'll be handy. I just thought, I'll just check. I don't know why I checked, because I don't really think there's going to be sugar in it, and there was. So processed foods, they put sugar in everything. So eat less sugar, and eating less processed foods will give you more control over that. HEALT, is take more vitamin D, and that might be a supplement. It might be making sure you get your vitamin D sunshine fix. If you're pale and fair like me, you've got to take your sunshine, but also protect your skin from cancer. So you've got to be sun-wise. So you want to take more vitamin D and vitamin B, because they are very important in keeping cells moving. So again, probably a supplement, or just looking at those foods rich in those. HEALTH. Have healthy fats, omega-3. So make sure you've got some omega-3s. Omega-3 supplementation and increased omega-3s do increase the length of your telomeres. So that's really important. So you might supplement, or you just might have a lot of healthy oily fish, sardines, mackerel, tuna, and then there are some nuts with omega-3s and seeds, and I just off my head I can't remember the best ones, but we can add it as a comment. So basically healthy fats, and finally the why in healthy is youth-giving foods. Because you would have heard people say, oh, resveratrol is really good for you. Yep, resveratrol is from grapes. Oh, look, like there are some herbs like turmeric, cumin, basil, that are really strong antioxidants. They're really good. Yes, have lots of those. What else is there? Just have a quick look. Oh, oats. A lot of oats will help reduce cholesterol if that's an issue, as will anthocyanins, which is blue foods, like blueberries, bilberries, blackcurrants, and more vegetables. More vegetables. I couldn't even read my own writing. So more vegetables. So you can have healthy foods. So that's my healthy ideas that you can take on to, biohack your body. And I think as a final thing when I'm talking about food is to remember portion size. We've got into this habit of having huge portions. The portion of protein on your plate is the size of your palm. Not that big person over there's palm, your palm. Fat would be the size of your thumb, and a cup full of grain, a cupped handful of grain, or it could be a fist of grain probably, and a cupped fist or a cupped hand of vegetables would probably be more likely. Yeah, so grain would be more like your fist, and cupped hand would be vegetables. So that is the N of emanate. And then we move quickly to the final one, which is treat. How do you treat yourself? You have sovereignty over your body. Do you treat yourself like a sovereign? Do you treat yourself like a queen? Now, I don't mean you have to sort of start going out going, I'm a queen, but how do you treat yourself? If someone was looking to see it, would they go, wow, she really values herself? So here are my options, and there are 3 S's as well. And the first one is self-love. And we talked about self-love already, because self-love is also a soul thing. So, say yes, no, or bye. Maybe every day have I said yes, no, or bye to something. How do you speak to yourself? How do you treat your skin? Your skin is your outward manifestation of your cell health. So if your skin is glowing, then you've got healthy glowing cells. And I have a Pampers formula, and I've got a little e-book which you can have access to called the Pampers Formula, and it's 7 steps to basically looking more youthful, but it's how you treat your skin. And the P from Pampers is having a positive attitude. That is the first thing, because when you have a positive attitude and you are positive and you feel good, you flood your cells with feel-good chemicals. Those, how our cells are bathed, in the chemicals in the blood are how they bathe our cells. Our cells are bathed in this blood. Now, Bruce Lipton, who's a cell biologist and used to do studies on cells, and he's really got some amazing work. If you haven't read his work, The Biology of Belief, The Honeymoon Effect, fantastic. But basically, so he talks about how you reprogram cells. But he sort of says that, he used to do these experiments where he takes stem cells, which could be anything. We have stem cells in our body. That's how we repair ourselves. That's how we make new cells. And they're sort of basically, they're very basic, and then they can become more specialized depending on what's needed. And so he could take stem cells, the same stem cell, but he would put it in different culture mediums, and he would get a different cell. So a muscle cell might grow on this one, but a nerve cell in that one. And it was the culture medium that was different. The cells were exactly the same. They came from the same stem cell. So the culture medium that our cells sit in is our blood. So what environment is that? Is your blood full of feel-good hormones, or is it full of stress hormones? So having a positive attitude is the first thing to having fabulous skin, because fabulous skin is just a reflection of fabulous cells. So that's the first thing. Avoid sun. So sun UV damage is, UV radiation is very damaging to your skin. It breaks down your collagen, which means that you'll get more lines and wrinkles and less resilience of your skin. So avoid sunshine. And so that might be having a good sunscreen, having a great broad-rimmed hat, wearing sunglasses in the sun so you don't squint and you make these lines. So basically, avoid the sun. M is make sure you use a pH-balanced cleanser. Our skin has got an acid mantle on it, so it's slightly acidic. Now, most soaps and cleansers are alkaline, so they strip it off. So it's like if you're doing a skincare regime and you're starting at zero and your aim is to improve your skin, this is improvement. If you use an alkaline cleanser, it's like you take a step back. Like you want to get to here, so here, you're starting here, you want to get to here, and you go backwards. It doesn't make sense. You want to use a pH balanced cleanser so you're moving forward, so it's in line with your body. And if you need to, in terms of skincare, if anyone's interested in what I use, because it obviously fulfills all the criteria that I'm going to talk about, then just message me, because I'm very happy to share that with you. And similarly with supplements. I didn't say that before, but similarly with supplements. So make sure you have a pH cleanser, so positive attitude, avoid the sunshine, make sure you have a pH balanced cleanser. P, problem areas. So often as we get older, we've got problem areas, we've got age spots, we've got more right lines and wrinkles, we've got more sagging. Those problem situations, that's when you need a serum. So if you sort of get confused about what's what, well, a serum is what you use for those problem areas. And again, if you need a recommendation, just reach out. The E is that as we get older, we need extra hydration. So our cells become dehydrated because our natural moisturizing layer reduces with time. But we can turn it back on if we use the right ingredients in our skincare, because we can switch our genes around, we can change our gene expression, and we can just hydrate our skin more from the outside. So a lot of moisturizers are oil-based. So the oil-based moisturizer is going to, I haven't got it, I've just got sunscreen on today, but oil, which has got humectants in it, so it's got the right things. But an oil-based product will keep the water in, but it won't rehydrate any cells that are already dehydrated. Whereas if you use humectants, have something called humectants in your skincare, it draws water and it plumps up the cells. So, and even my sunblock, which I've just got on today, my 50 plus sunblock, because I'm sort of in a place where I'm out and about a lot, so I just got to really protect myself from my face from the sun. Then it's got humectants, and again, if you don't know about humectants, I can feed that and I can give you information, but we're going to just move on. The Pampers formula, so PAMP, problem areas, extra hydration. And R is, don't forget there are reinforcements. Don't feel bad about bringing in the reinforcements. And I'm not talking Botox. I'm not talking anything like that. But for example, I have what I call my glow wand, and it gives me a facial massage every morning. It takes 2 minutes. It's very easy. It's my face cleansing device. So I get a face cleanse. I also get a skin renewal treatment. So I actually get, a little bit of an exfoliation. So I get some glow. It's why I call it my glow wand. And ding ding, over time, they've found that massaging action increases your natural collagen and elastin because it's acting at the cellular level to turn your collagen and elastin back on. So don't be scared to bring out the reinforcements. And for me, the reinforcements are things that are going to the cells to change your gene expression to a more youthful state. So as you get older and your collagen's gone down, you can switch it back up. Your elastin's gone down, you can switch it back up. As you get older, your melanin production, so your age spots goes up, you can turn it down. So don't be frightened for that. And the S is supplementation. And again, the supplements that I would say would be collagen, and particularly a collagen that goes to the cells and switches on your own collagen. And I have an amazing one if anyone's interested. Collagen, just good nutrition, so your cells have got what they need. And also there are, as I mentioned yesterday, in the last video, I mentioned that there was, I took an antioxidant formula that reset the gene expression age, and that in resetting the gene expression also resets your collagen and elastin, and the studies have shown that it also improves the quality of your skin. So there's a lot that you can do for your skin, and that is part of treating yourself. So that's myself. So I haven't even finished treating yourself. So we've got treat yourself, we've got self-love, which is, we've talked about. Self-love is say yes, no, bye, how you speak to yourself, how you treat your skin. So treating yourself like a queen is, think of spa days. And I say that with a wink wink, because actually this isn't going to sound quite as good this is a reminder to me to talk to you about cold and hot therapy. So I don't want you to be Wim Hof and, dig a hole in the ice and dive into the ice water and do that. I mean, you're welcome. But that is difficult. But just having a cold shower. So just having your hot shower and at the end switching it to cold for 30 to 90 seconds increases your natural killer cells, so improves your immune function, increases your mitochondria, so it increases your metabolic rate. It increases your brown adipose tissue, which means that you burn more fat. So there are lots of benefits just from putting the shower on cold at the end. And there are other ways of doing it. You can do an alternating hot for 10 seconds, cold for 20, hot for 10, cold for 20, and do that for maybe 5 or 10 minutes, for 2 or 5 minutes. So you can do that, but actually cold is really a great biohack. If you can take that on, it's one of my biohacks, it's one of my vitality codes, cold shower it says. And the other one is, thinking of the spa, is a sauna. So being in a sauna for 11 minutes also increases your mitochondria, which increases your metabolic rate. So it's sort of like your mitochondria, like your powerhouses that do, keep everything running. And obviously, like they're the engines of your cells. So you want the engines being, fired up and tuned as much as possible. So it's these spa treatments, so cold or sauna, maybe think about adding those in. And finally, in my How Do You Treat Yourself Like a Queen, is the special stuff. Do you wear your special clothes? Do you use your best china? What do you do with your special things? And think about it, do I really need to just put them away for whatever, or shall I use my special things? So, from all of that, from Move, Nourish, Treat, your task is to choose 3 to 6 vitality codes and add them to your playlist. So hopefully your playlist will have between 7 and 12 vitality codes. Some of them are going to be easier to do and some of them will be a little bit more challenging. So that's the task that you have for this week. I will give you the Pampers book, and I just want you to also remember that I've talked about supplements, I've talked about skincare products. I do sell those, and anybody in this course can get them at wholesale price. You don't need to use my products to get benefit from this course at all, but I'm just sharing with you what I do, and I use those because I think they're the best. Just saying. Okay, have a lovely week, and I'll see you again next time.